Paco, and you're watching Bad Witch Books. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It is time for the last video of 2025. It's just crazy that we were already on the last video of 2025. That it feels like we were just in January. It is. We are already in January. We're going to be in January again, and it is crazy. But here we are, and it is time for the January TBR. So the way I'm doing January TBRs this year is that thanks to Princess, the best friend, my best friend, booktube best friend, one of my best friends IRL, love her, she sent me these Illuma Crate TBR cards. And I've been wanting to do TBR cards, but I didn't want to do the ones I made because I was tired of getting the prompts that I created. So I just, she had these, and she was like, I can send you these. So I'm going to be pulling this. So the way I'll be doing that is I will be rolling a 6-sided die, pulling this from that, and I will then have to do the prompts. If I do those prompts, I get 20 points. I don't know what these points are going to be for. This TBR is very much a work in progress for what the rest of the year will be like. So I'm going to be doing that. Another thing for my TBRs this year is that me, Princess, and Helen are doing our own personal book club for the three of us to knock out like some series. Mainly, we originally made knockout series, but we picked up all the books already for this year, and I'm very excited for those. And so that will be a book I will have to read the year. So we have the Friend TBR, the Friend Book Club, and then my IRL YA book club that I'm in. Those two books. Whatever prompts I pull from here, and then in my planner. So I've got a new reading journal for 2026. You'd think I would have it prepared, but I don't. It's this right here. It's really cute. It has a lot of, it's like tracking your reading. It has calendars, like a regular planner. But one of the things I like it has challenge pages. So I'm looking for it. So it has challenges. And it has like on the cover challenge and the A to Z challenge, which the Enchanted Pages challenge, Setting the Scene challenge, or Retelling challenge. So as much of those, which I will be doing just as the year goes. I will be also doing the Romantasy Bingo board. I have that written down. But those I will be doing as the year goes. I'm not going to be like, I have to have a book each month for those. It will be if I beat it, if I happen to check it off a book at any point because of the TBR, or I want to read it or anything like that, then it'll be checked off. The only one I'm doing that I will be setting a book for my TBR each month is they have the 12 Moons reading challenge. So for each moon, because if you don't know the full moons, each of the full moons have a name for each month, and each of those months they did a prompt. So like for January, of course, it is read a book that features wolf shifters for the wolf moon, and so I will be reading a book that features wolf shifters. So yeah, so we have that. We have book club, the 2 book clubs I'm in. We have my Illuma Crate reading prompts, which will depend on the roll, on how many of that. And then the last one I'm doing is Leandra is doing the TBR-a-thon. It's a year-long reading challenge. And she has multiple different versions you could do. And the one I decided to do, which I was inspired by Brittany, I believe, and I will tag her channel down below. Every YouTube name I will be tagging. She did a year-long version where she rolled 12 times and did the board, which you'll see the board right here. The one I'm doing the Lost in the Library one. And she did it all year and picked out her books for it for each of the months. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it every TBR. I will do a roll for it, and I will do that. So that is how I'm doing it, but I was inspired by her version for Leandra's video. So yeah. So let's get to our rolls, shall we? I have my dice tray and my dice I'm using. I'm using my rose dice for this. So let's roll. Okay, so we got a 5. And then I have my TBR cards, courtesy of Princess. They are the, I probably already said it earlier, but the reading prompt cards from Illuma Crate. Okay, book with a morally great character. A book by a debut author. Ooh, fun. A book with an animal companion. A book with a found family. Okay. And then a book with animal in the title. Okay, this is doable. So yeah, I will come back once I pick these prompts. Books for these prompts. My monthly roll for Leandra's TBR Lost in the Library for the TBR. I forget, it's not the Harvest. It's TBR-thon, I believe. I said the correct name earlier in the video, but my mind is blanking. Yeah, TBR-thon. Okay. I got a 2. Okay, let's look. So, we're using my little Minnie Mouse keychain. Okay, and I'm gonna do. So we're gonna be right here, Minnie Mouse. Boop. 1, 2. Young adult fiction. Okay. So that's where we started. This will look better next time. This is just the first way I'm filming it. I'm going to print out a copy of this, but this is just what we're working with for now. Okay, I'm back. It's been a minute for me, not you guys. You guys legit, you just saw me. But I now have all the books that I will be reading in the month of January. So for the TBR-thon role, I had to read a book that was YA. And so I will be reading Sunrise of the Reaping by Suzanne Collin. This is the newest Hunger Game book that came out last 2025, so this year, because I'm currently filming. And it is a prequel to the Hunger Games, and I have not read a single Hunger Games book. Dystopia is not really my genre, but I'm reading this for my book club. I have in person that I go to, so I will be reading that. And this... And I'm very intrigued. I'm nervous just because, like I said, I'm not really a dystopian fan, and I've never read a single Hunger Games book, so we shall see what I think of that. Maybe I'll vlog it. We'll see. I don't know. May not. The next book that I do not have is I am doing 12 friend book recs challenge this year. And for January, we are starting off strong. I will be reading Goddess of Filth right here. This is a horror novella, and it is about what is it called? They try to talk to spirits or whatever. Gone wrong. I can't think of the word right now, but gone wrong, and somebody gets possessed by something. And so I am very intrigued to read it. This was a pick chosen by Leandra at the TBR Zero. Her shield art link will already be down below, but this was her rec, and I'm excited to get to it. And then the last book that I do not have on me is for one of the prompts that I got. I've got the prompt to read a book with animal in the title, and I'll be reading For the Wolf. I do not know where my copy is at the moment, so this book it's by Hannah Winton, and this book is about a girl who, I guess, the kingdom has to give up an heir or a princess to the forest every generation, and it is her turn. Her sister is supposed to, like, take the throne, and she was born to be sacrificed to the woods, and she meets the wolf, the guardian of the woods, I believe, and that's all I really know. I've had this book forever, and I've wanted to read it, and so I will be finally getting to it this month. Okay, so now we're on to the books that I actually have that I can show. So for the next TBR pool, I have a book with a found family, and I'll be reading God Killer by Hannah Winton. This book is about a God killer. So a God killer, and then I believe she forms a there's a knight and stuff like that, but that's all I really know about this. Very intrigued to read it. Heard nothing but great things about this trilogy, and so I'm finally into it. I love this cover. The next prompt is read a book by a debut author or a debut book, and I'll be reading The City of Stardust by Georgina Summers. This, I believe, is dark academia, but it's also I think a portal fantasy. And it is about a woman who is looking for her mother, or something to do with her mother. That's all I really know. I don't know much about it, but I've had this. This is also on my winter TBR video. So I want to read this for that as well. The next book we have that fit for that is to read a book with an animal companion for one of the prompts, and that was a Broken Souls and Bones by L.J. Andrews. This is a fairy loot book as well, so we do this. And all I know about this is about a girl who I think she's a bone render. She's a magic user, and she can do all types of magic, which is rare, and she is taken from her home to work for the king, and she hates, and she kind of has a love interest with a guard, and I heard this has an animal companion, so I am intrigued to reading this. I am excited to get through some of my romantasy, but my just fairy loot books in general, so I'm glad this will work for that. The next, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is my last book that's a prompt. I still have 2 other books after that. That is a prompt from my TBR card hole. Is Our Vicious Oaths by N.E. Davenport. This will fit a book with a Morley Gray character. This book follows our princess, Kadisha. She is the princess of this Fae kingdom that is, I guess there's like 1 in 7. She is supposed to be proposed to marry the current High King, but she is taken by, like, the Dark King or whatever, and he's like, hey, you're hot. She's like, I know, but you want to work together? And they sometimes have to team up. And I've heard nothing but great things. This is going to be the first book I read in the year 2026. And I love N.E. Davenport. I love Faye. I'm very excited to read this. So the next book I will be reading is for my reading journal, Moon Prompt, which if I'm doing said earlier in the video, 12, so each month has a different prompt based on the moon. It's the Wolf Moon, so it's read a book with wolf shifters, and I'll be reading Blood Moon by Brittany S. Lewis. This book is a werewolf book. That's all I really know about it. It is a book written for justice for Bonnie Bennett from Vampire Diaries, and it is inspired by Twilight. And that's all I really know. And I do know it has werewolves, so I'm really excited to get to this. I was really hyped to read this in 2025. Never got to it, so I'll be reading it in 2026. And the last book I have that I will be reading is a book that me, Princess, and Helen are doing a personal, friend book club. The 3 of us, and we'll be reading a different book each month. And we are first starting it off with knocking out a series, the first 3 months. And the first series is The Shadow of the Gods by John Wen. This is the first book. We'll be reading this in January, and then book 2, which is, I think, Hunger of the Gods? I couldn't tell you. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Hunger of the Gods, and then Fear of the Gods in March. So we'll be reading, this is the special edition I got for Christmas, thanks to my brother. So I'm very excited for that. I know this is like an epic and fantasy inspired by Norse mythology, so I am intrigued. This has been on my radar for a minute, and I am glad to finally get to it. So yeah, so that's what I'm reading in January. If I have time, I might try to read Cassandra Clare's the Clockwork Angel series, the Clockwork Angel book, because I want to reread The Infernal Devices, and it is nowhere near priorities. These books are priority first, but if I get through then I might try that. But yeah, so like I said, that's what I'm reading in the month of January 2026. This is my the TBR for the first of the year, and I'm very ready for that. I post new videos every Friday, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!